Okay, so part two of our video about addressing pressure and the experience of pressure. Okay, so when I was looking at this subject, one of the things I realized is I have a little conversation in my mind that says that actually pressure is good. Okay, and so there's a part of me that sometimes thinks that I need to generate pressure. I have to make something seemingly be really important. Like if it goes well, it's going to change the future. Like this video is going to go viral, and then suddenly everyone's going to be watching all my other videos. Okay, but so making an unrealistic future about something that we're doing really again can create pressure. Even though it's something that we want, it doesn't necessarily mean that our execution in the present is going to be better. Sometimes we can be thinking too much about what the consequences can be, and that actually stops us from performing. So if I use basketball as an example, going back to the conversation I had with the Saints Academy coaches, the reality is there is me, there's a basketball, and there's a hoop, okay, that's involved, and there might be an opponent that's involved in me shooting and either achieving my goal or not achieving my goal. Now, if I start to include a whole bunch of other stuff, who's watching, what happened last time, what the future might be, or what the past tells me about my ability to do something, I'm actually just complicating the experience. Okay? My body is capable of holding the past, worrying about the future, adding in influences that really don't have anything to do with it. And if I practice stripping those things away, okay, letting go, which I call resetting. So you do an action, and then you reset. And then you do the action again, and you reset. So when you're practicing, that's what you're doing. You're not letting your attention go anywhere else. You're not looking to see who's impressed. You're just feeling, and people will talk about muscle memory. You're feeling what it feels like to take the action, okay? And then when you go into a game scenario, for example, or you go into a meeting, or you go into an interaction with a family member, if it's outside of sport, you're just doing the thing you said you were going to do. Okay? You're not allowing emotional energy from other parts of your body to come into that you have, if you like, placed yourself in a position to take an action, and now you're just taking the action. It becomes very simple, okay? And what you start to notice when you are doing that effectively is the noise in your own head, like your own dialogue, really diminishes. Some sports people, like I was watching a video with Stephen Curry a while ago, actually says he doesn't hear the crowd. So the external noise actually diminishes, okay? Your body actually knows how to take the action, and all sorts of other things can fall away. So you might be worrying about your throat tensing up when you're going to communicate. You might be worried about your hand shaking, but a lot of the times that's because of external factors that are being allowed to be added in. In the body, things like wants and how much we need a result to happen are actually held in different muscles in the body, and my other videos will tell you about where some of those things are held. And if we are letting our wants or our needs, letting our ideas of we're going to progress from doing something actually get involved in the action, that can actually move our body because it triggers the muscles connected to those things. And moving our body may be exactly the wrong thing to do. So finding a groundedness, a stillness, sometimes standing up if you're going to have a conversation rather than like if you're on the phone sitting down, those things can bring your physical body into a space where then it's just what you said you were going to do and then your execution that's really at the heart of what you're doing. And the pressure that you think is there actually starts to diminish, okay? Now, having said that, there are some times where there's a critical experience, and if we do it, we're going to win the championship, and if we miss it, then that opportunity is not going to be available again, okay? So pressure is not all made up, some of it is real, but often a large percentage of it is unreal, inauthentic, magnified, and sometimes even created because we think that if we don't have pressure, we won't really bother, we won't care, okay? When you strip those things away, then you're just left with the opportunity to really perform at your highest level. Okay. Now, my own personal example of this is I once scored a goal from the halfway line in a competitive football match. And I really did have that experience of everything slowing down, of being very quiet, of knowing that it was possible for me to do it. And I didn't have to do it because the team was winning at the time, but it just became an expression of me being on the pitch, okay? And actually one of the things that has me, when I work with clients, seek to move them into that space is the fact that I've experienced it and I know it's possible. Right? So let me know if there are areas where you want to diminish pressure, and equally if you've got results that speak of exactly what I'm speaking about in terms of you being able to create a bubble of calmness, of stillness, of simplicity, where you can then really perform.